So I'm here with Brandon Napolitano, the Chief Sales Officer of Chucktown Homes. Welcome, Brandon.
Thanks, sir.
So, Brandon, we'll just get right into it. So, want to talk a little bit today about your journey from solo agent to where you are today. So, prior to Chucktown, you were a solo agent.
Yes, sir.
Very successful solo agent. I looked you up. So, tell me why Chucktown?
Yeah, I was a solo agent from 2015 until 2021. And, I did okay for myself. I was doing 40, 50 deals a year.
Yeah, just 40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no big deal. And I always tell people that I was never super passionate about real estate, but I was always passionate about leadership and service. And real estate was just the vessel in which I got to do those things, right? And as a solo agent, it wasn't so much leadership, it was serving clients. And I really enjoyed that piece of it. So I was in the Keller Williams Market Center doing my, solo agent thing, lead prospecting and, following up with clients and the marketing and transaction coordinating and all those things. And our team leader, our Keller Williams team leader at the time said, hey, there's these guys coming to our market who are looking to expand from Charleston. I think you should talk to them. And I initially said no. I said, Catherine, I'm just not interested. Like, I can do my own thing. I'm successful. I don't need to do that. I don't need to join a team, right? I had in my mindset at the time that if you joined a team, it's because you weren't being successful in real estate, not because you belong with a team, right? So I had a real limiting belief around that. And then the other piece of that, and there's 1,000 different ways to be a real estate team, right? I just never saw the value, the value added to who I am, to my business that another team offered. And there were several teams who approached me, but it just didn't make sense for me. Tremaine, you ever read the book 5 Love Languages?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's a 6th one that they don't tell you about, and that 6th one is free stuff. Like, I love free stuff. If it's free, it's for me. Like, I love T-shirts and free coffee mugs, and like, I love all the things free, right? So I initially told Catherine, I was like, no, it's just, I'm not interested. I'm good on my own. And she goes, and luckily Catherine knows who I am and my personality. She goes, Brandon, you're being stupid, right? She goes, and she was being super honest with me. She goes, they look like you, they talk like you, they think like you. You need to talk to these people. So I said, well, listen, if they take me out to Starbucks coffee, I'll have a conversation with them.
Pretty low bar.
Pretty low bar. I'm a cheap date, right? So I'm sitting here making multiple $100,000 decisions off of a Starbucks coffee, right? So they come up and they sit down, Jeremy and Donald do, and the owners of our company, and they opened up the computer and they said, hey, we've never done this, but we think this is what it could be. And they showed me the systems and the tools and the technology and then the leads. And I said, well, guys, listen, if it's this good, why isn't everybody doing it, right? Because it almost sounded too good to be true. And I was like, they were like, we don't know either. Everybody should be doing it this way. I went home and I talked to my wife about it. And if you know my wife.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. If you know anything about Sarah is very protective. She's mama bear, right? And I told her about this and she goes, nah, we're good on our own. Let's just keep doing our own thing. I said, yes, ma'am. Right. A couple days went by and I just couldn't get the thought out of my head that this would be an opportunity for me to step out of production and step into leadership.
Right.
And that was the thing that really drew me. And when I knew I was in business with the right people, Jeremy and Donald, they invited me and my wife down to Charleston to have dinner with their wives. And we sat across the table with each other and we spoke for hours about what this opportunity looked like. And when my wife and I left that dinner that night, I turned to her and I said, even if we don't do business with these people, and we still weren't sure, right? Even if we don't do business with these people, these would be our people. Right. These are the people we would want to do life with.
Right.
And then the next day they called me up, offered me the position, and that was August 21st of 2021.
Wow. So you started at the Greenville team.
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit about Greenville starting, and then kind of we'll transition a little bit into where they are today.
Yeah. So, gosh, we started with 10 agents, and I was nervous, man. I was so scared. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew what we had,
Right.
but I didn't know how to do it. So a lot of those first 6-7 months were just me winging it, right? But I just knew that if I was present, if I showed up every single day, if I led by example, and you're one of the original people that I hired. I had the opportunity to hire you, and you were like one of the first original 12 agents at Chucktown Homes Greenville, right? I just knew that if I showed up every day alongside with you guys and earned that loyalty, that the long-term buy-in with you guys was going to be that much better, right? So a lot of those first 6-12 months was me going on showings with y'all, picking up the phone. This might be too much information, but I had a shower phone holder. Like, I would put my phone in the shower with me, right? And if Zillow called, I would turn off the shower, jump out, and take a Zillow call real quick just so I can make sure I set you guys up, right? I told my wife when we started Chucktown Homes Greenville that we both needed to be on the same page here because, Greenville's success is really built on the back of Sarah's efforts too. And I'm really grateful for what she did. I told her that I'm going to work harder for the next 12 months than I've ever worked in real estate because I really believe in this vision. So what that meant was that I'm going to miss some dinners. I'm going to miss some weekends. There were some things that I wouldn't sacrifice, right? Obviously, but there was going to be sacrifice that we made to make sure that the Greenville team succeeded, right? And those 12 months were a lot of that working, a lot of that effort, and again, buying that loyalty. Like, I kept telling myself that I want them to be viciously loyal to me. I want to build that level of loyalty that, man, they know that if they need something, I got their back, and if I need something, they'll have mine.
Absolutely. So, did not know you were winging it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if I would have joined if I had known that. I'm just kidding. I loved Chucktown, and I love what they're doing now.
Yeah.
So, what was the hardest part of just going through that whole getting started, not knowing what this was, and what was the most challenging thing that you found in that season?
Yeah, for me, it was just a different way to do business, right? So I think one of the biggest value adds that Chucktown Homes had is the opportunity to get leads, right? And we're not talking about Google pay-per-click leads, right? We're talking about some of the best leads in the industry.
Right.
Zillow Flex, Market VIP, Op City, right? Like all those really bottom of the funnel leads. And the only thing I ever heard prior to joining Chucktown Homes was internet leads don't convert.
Right.
They'll only convert at 1%.
Right.
So I had that limiting belief in my head, like, oh God, these leads, we're going to have to take 1,000 leads to convert 100 of them. Right. It's just never going to work.
Right.
Right. So it was all about changing my mindset of don't treat these people as leads, treat them as clients for life. Right. And that way you're going to build a business quicker. So I had to really dive into the internet lead world pretty quick and really buy into it myself, because if I didn't buy into it, there is no way my agents would have bought into it.
Right.
So I really had to go all in and learn a different way of business converting internet leads.
Right. So we'll take a little bit of a turn from there. So you mentioned systems, you mentioned leads and stuff like that. So why would an agent want to even be a part of this?
Yeah. I think the biggest benefit, again, is that I can take a brand new agent who's never done a deal in their entire life, put them in front of our database, and then put them into business the day after they finish training, right? You and I both can think of dozens of examples where an agent finishes training and they get into the pond and they make 2 or 3, 100 phone calls, and boom, they're under contract on a realtor.com lead, right? And that's the crazy thing about our system, is that as long as you plug in, you do exactly as you're asked to do, using the scripts that we provide, you're going to be successful. Growing up, you and I are about the same age, playing video games growing up, we had cheat codes, right? Up, down, left, right, A, B, right?
Absolutely.
I tell people that the way we do business at Chucktown Homes is like having the cheat codes to real estate. When I first started real estate, I I showed up to my very first brokerage in the world's ugliest Joseph A. Banks gray suit, right? And it had gold liner in the inside. Like, I thought I was doing something, you know what I mean?
Pocket protector.
Your pocket protector, right? It was terribly ugly. And I showed up and I sat down at the table with my folder in my hand. waiting for my broker in charge to come up to me and say, okay, Brandon, go show 123 Main Street to the Smiths. And yes, sir, I got it, right? And I sat there for 2 weeks looking like a fool, right? Because that's not what real estate is, right? Serving people is easy. Finding the people to serve is the uniquely challenging thing, and I think we bridge that gap.
Absolutely. So from going to that first brokerage where the expectation was the brokerage was going to help you be successful in business, now to this team that is wildly successful, what do the agents who stay with Chucktown, why do they stay?
I think they stay for a lot of reasons, man. And I think the biggest one is that what our goal for them is to help them build a database, right? And these incoming leads do that for them. And it takes their business from kind of that roller coaster and steadies it out. So if their database ever starts slacking off to where they can't generate enough business from their database, they have that opportunity to take more leads, right? And the better they nurture and love on their past clients and their sphere of influence, the more consistent and profitable their business is going to be.
Right.
So I think a lot of agents join our team because they don't have a big sphere of influence. And what I would say is that just because you don't have a big sphere of influence doesn't mean you're not a great agent.
Right.
It just means you're an agent without a sphere of influence.
Right.
And that's why we bridge that gap again, is because we're going to provide you that database you need to be successful.
Wow. That's some incredible words of wisdom. So the great thing about Chucktown that I found is exactly like you said. So I was a little bit different where I did have a sphere, but I wasn't the guy who was going to slide in someone's DM and say, hey, I'm in real estate now. Do you know anyone looking to buy or sell? So Chucktown did provide that as a way for me to not have to do that. And that was just incredible. So we know kind of why people stay. Why would an experienced agent, the agent who does have a sphere, or the agent that is doing well on their own, why would they want to join Chucktown?
Yeah, and again, I think there's a lot of reasons here for this. Right. So our Columbia team leader currently, his name's Fred Tonsing. When we hired him, he had 8 years in the business, right? And that's actually more experience than I had in the business at the time that we hired Fred. Right. And Fred's an incredible agent. He didn't need us, right? He wanted that opportunity to grow, and not just simply grow into leadership, which he's done and he's doing an incredible job at, but to grow as an agent, right? To get those opportunities to leverage their business so they can focus on the most dollar for dollar producing activities and become more effective, right? Are there splits involved? Of course there's splits involved, right? We're running a real big business and a real big team here.
Right.
But when you partner that, I always tell agents, cost is an issue in the absence of value, right? So if there's enough value, it doesn't matter what the cost is. The value outweighs that.
Absolutely. One of the big values that we haven't touched on yet is culture. Culture is a big thing from Chucktown leadership all the way down. What would you say is the culture of Chucktown, and what would a new agent expect to be the culture when they come in?
So one of the things that I love about Chucktown Homes is that we're a team of 7 locations in 4 different states, right? And when you say that to an agent who's looking to join the Greenville or the Columbia or the Charleston team, like, that feels really overwhelming, right? Where do I fit into an organization of 175 agents, right? Here's the great thing about Chucktown is each location has their own unique culture under the umbrella of the Chucktown culture, right? So I have the privilege of being able to see all 7. And what I would say is each one of them are uniquely different in their great own way, right? So the overall culture of Chucktown is agents, right? Every decision that we make at the top tiers of our leadership team is with the agents in mind, right? Everything we do is thinking of y'all first. And we'll sacrifice every day of the week to make sure that you guys are taken care of, right? Jeremy notoriously says that he loses sleep at night thinking about our agents not having enough leads, right? So I think that's the culture of, like, we're going to look out for you. It's agents first always. We're always going to make the decisions in the best interest of the agents and make sure we're taking care of them really, really well.
Wow. Yeah. So much there. So much richness there too. I would love to dive more into that, but I'll ask you about the future of Chucktown. Yeah. So from the position that you're in, you get to see all the locations, you get to see kind of the ins and outs of Chucktown. What would you say is the future of Chucktown?
I think the immediate future is current growth in each one of our markets. I really believe, and gosh, I spend hours and hours and hours of my day inside of our CRM follow-up boss, and I see the opportunities that we have. And the lead flow in every single one of our locations shows me that we can double our agent count in each one of our locations. We can impact more agents' lives in each one of our locations right now just by simply growing where we're at. Right. So all 7 of our locations are actively hiring both new and seasoned agents. That way we can provide more service to more clients and impact more lives. So that's the immediate plan, right? Now, Jeremy and Donald always talk about growing deep in each of our locations,
right,
and then growing wide.
Right.
One of my big goals, one of the funny goals that I have is one day, Chucktown Homes, Alaska. Like, let's go to Juneau, right? Let's figure it out. So, I think the growth is there, the opportunity is there. And the really cool thing about Chucktown Homes is that we have a system, a platform, and the leads that as long as we go into the right cities with the right Keller Williams leadership, we can plug in our systems and our processes, and we're going to be successful just by following the model that we've already built.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So I guess one of the last questions that I have for you, and you can answer however you choose. You're an agent, or you're thinking about joining a team, from somebody who said that teams was not for them, to running the number 3 team in all of Keller Williams. If someone is thinking about joining the team, thinking about checking out Chucktown, what are a couple things that you would tell them if you could go back and talk to Brandon prior to Chucktown? What would you tell them?
So a couple things. Number one, talk to a lot of teams, right? We're not going to be a fit for everybody, but we're going to be a fit for a lot of people. And what you should do is compare the value you're getting from other teams and then compare it to what we're offering and see where you're getting more. I would tell you 9.9 times out of 10, you're going to receive more value at Chucktown Homes than the traditional real estate team, in my opinion. And I'm a little biased because I have a cool Chucktown polo, right? So number one, interview with other teams. The second thing, just ask the honest questions to your team leader in your location. What do I need to do to be successful in Atlanta, Jacksonville, Greenville, Charleston, wherever that is?
Right.
And just do exactly what they say to do. Right. Because the system is so proven. And again, I think we can go to any city in the country with our leads, our systems, our tools, and our technology, plug in a great team leader, and we're going to be successful. So just follow the system, follow the plan, trust it. Don't try to get creative. Just plug in and you're going to win in our system.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you so much for giving me a couple minutes of your time today. It's obvious that you care a lot about leadership. You care a lot about your agents. And I can say that I'm a recipient of that, right? I'm just not telling you something that I've heard. I've experienced it. Yeah. So I'll let you get the last word in before we wrap it up here.
Yeah, man, I'll just give it back to you. Like, I wouldn't have the opportunity to do what I do without amazing people in our organization like you. So I'm just grateful for how you show up every day, how you serve your clients, how you serve your family, and how you just show up for the Greenville team. I'm real grateful for you, man. And without people like you, we wouldn't have a job.
Thank you so much. Well, if you're looking for a team, if you thought about getting into real estate, if you're new to real estate, if you're experienced, Chucktown Homes has 6 locations all throughout the country, well, almost throughout their country in any places. So if you have questions, please reach out. Please talk to Brandon, myself, or any of the team leads there, and we'd love to help you out and get in conversation with you.